Live-in boyfriend found new apartment behind my back. My boyfriend, 25M, and I, 25F, have been together for 2.5 years. I moved into my own apartment about 9 months after we started dating. He lived with friends at the time. At first, my boyfriend would only stay over on the weekends. He slowly started staying over more during the week and even worked from home at my apartment at the beginning of the pandemic lockdown. Eventually, he had most of his clothes and other personal things here and was staying over every night. He even had his own set of keys. We never officially discussed him moving in, but that is slowly what had happened. He began referring to my apartment as home, and telling people that we lived together. Flash forward to about 4 months ago, May 2021. The lease on my apartment was going to be up soon. Keep in mind, only my name was on the lease. I expressed to my boyfriend that I was interested in moving into a duplex closer to my job. He said he was unsure about signing a lease together and that he had discussed with a friend, coworker getting an apartment together. I explained how him moving in with someone else would really upset me. He said it was just a thought and that he needed some time to think about it. About a week later, he started asking me about houses and talking about going to see one of the ones I had found. The friend situation was not mentioned again. I took this as he had made his decision and that it was to continuing living with me. We ended up not moving into a new place and decided to just renew the lease at my current apartment. Again, only my name was on the lease. But he started to help out with rent, bills, and we were discussing different things we wanted to do with the apartment. There were no foreseeable issues. Until 3 days ago when my boyfriend paused the TV in the middle of a show and said, "We need to talk." My heart sank. He asked me if I remembered him bringing up the possibility of him moving in with a coworker and proceeded to tell me that they found a place and would be moving in 2 weeks. I started crying and all he could say was, "I didn't know how to tell you." Obviously I am crushed and blindsided. I tried to further express my feelings about this to him, but all he keeps saying is, "Everything is going to be okay." I can't get a clear answer out of him as to why he went and did this behind my back. I am just at a loss at what else to say or do. We have barely spoken the last few days. I am so hurt. Obviously he's not into you long term. This is how he breaks up with you. If he's rather live with his mate than you, then it's over, but he's too cowardly to end it. Oof. He just pulled the stability rug out from under you. I wonder if he's trying to untangle himself slowly. Confused face. Dude. Moving out and not telling you until it's done is a soft breakup. He's not into you. Your relationship obviously isn't moving forward, so be the adult your boyfriend can't be and initiate the breakup. You deserve love and acceptance, don't let one person define your worth. You're going to be okay, heart. I think you two need to work on communication. Both people should be able to sit down and say, "We are living together. We're going to live together again." Instead he's acting and not really being clear while you say something and assume it's been solved. He sounds like an asshole. If y'all lived together that long and now he wants to move out, just feels shady on his end. Make his ass leave today. It's over. He's trying to extricate himself from the relationship and is too cowardly to tell you. Tell him to pack his shit and get out. Since he doesn't live with you, he doesn't need the 2 weeks. My husband wants me to dress and look like his niece and it's bothering me. IF 32 have been married to Kevin, M 34 for 2 years. He has an 18-year-old niece, his sister's daughter, who's into fashion, makeup, and beauty stuff. Lately he's been giving me weird suggestions. He suggested I get the same hair color as her and follow her style with how I dress and look. I expressed how uncomfortable I was with him wanting me to look like his niece, but he brushed it off saying she just has good taste in stuff and I should take advantage of her styling skills. But she's 18 while I'm over 30, so it's unreasonable of him to expect me to dress that age. It was somewhat fine then since it was all innocent stuff like hair color and shoes and whatnot, but now it is just worse in my opinion, and here's why. Few days ago he talked about taking the day off and staying home together. He gifted me an identical dress that his niece was wearing at her 18th birthday. The dress is not cute type but rather sexy type. She had no problem wearing it despite some members saying it wasn't fit to the occasion, but since it was her birthday and she's big on fashion trends, then it wasn't huge deal. But I got upset. I asked Kevin why he specifically chose this dress which was identical to the one his niece wore. First he acted dumb and said it was coincidence and he didn't remember his niece wearing it, then admitted that he liked it when he saw her wearing it. What got me to lose my temper is the fact that he wanted us to have sexy time together while I'm wearing this dress. It felt so wrong for some reason, but I decided to just put it on, and it was too small for me and too tight I couldn't breathe. I decided to take it off because I looked ridiculous, and by the way, I'm very picky with clothes, but decided to try it on for him. He got upset at me, calling me unreasonable for refusing to wear it, and said I was obviously making excuses to not wear it just because his niece happened to wear something similar. I fought with him about it and how much it bothered me when he kept asking me dress like his niece who's 18 more often, which is illogical and just weird. He called me nuts, then said I ruined our fun time with my attitude, then left to his parents' house. I don't know why he does that, and I can't help but feel bothered whenever he insists that I basically copy his niece's looks and then expect me to obey. I told him 100 times it's not my style or my age, so it's ridiculous, but to no avail. Wow, I could not finish reading this. No offense, but your husband sounds like he belongs on Dateline. Leave this marriage. He is sexually attracted to his niece. He can't act on this, so he is using you to try to act on it symbolically. Gross. I'd bring this up to your sill. Your husband sounds horrifying. I say get out of it while you can. He sounds like a predator. No, that's super creepy and weird, and your feelings are valid. That he tried to push it is really off. You are dancing around it in your post, so let me put it into words for you. Your husband is attracted to his niece. He has been, for a while. He seems to think it's okay to admit that low-key now that she's turned legal, but it's really not. He wants to bang her. And instead of keeping that weird, inappropriate and predatory fantasy to himself, he is projecting that onto you and using you like a sex toy to fulfill his fantasy, whether you like that or not. There are at least a handful of red flags in this message. He wants to fuck his niece. I'd advise you to get TF out. That's no coincidence. Fucking gross. You know what's happening here. He's claiming he didn't notice it and coincidentally bought you the same one. But he also liked this specific dress enough to be aggressive about having you wear it? If this were innocent, surely he would find it really weird for you to wear in the bedroom after you brought that up. It could even be a funny moment, but I can't imagine not getting it out of eyesight immediately after that reminder. Personally, I'd feel embarrassed and mortified if I tried to make my husband look sexy and accidentally dressed him like my nephew. You don't have to get him to admit what he's doing to know what he's doing. My 24M wife, 22F, tells me I am a huge disappointment almost weekly and that she would leave me. Hi, I made this throwaway account just to ask some advice because my wife has been telling me that I am such a huge disappointment because of the following reasons. But before that, here is our living situation. I am currently studying medicine as a first-year student, and she is also studying law as a second-year student. We have a 1-year-old daughter and we live in her parents' house. Before we got married, my mom and grandma told me that I should not be forced or pressured by my wife or in-laws to find a job, because I still am studying. And knowing how difficult or time-consuming medicine is, I find it difficult to find some time for finding even little income. Now for the reasons why I am a disappointment. 1. I tried investing $80 on crypto and never made my money back. All the while my brother who I introduced to crypto is making more money. 2. I refuse to play Axie even though it takes only an hour a day or 2 hours. Because I would rather use that time for rest and leisure from babysitting our daughter and med school. 3. I am not hard-working or keen on finding ways of income, unlike her father who has a high-ranking position and is earning a lot. She also keeps threatening to leave me if I don't find a way to make even little money because she feels ashamed of me that I am not making money. And because either of us have any income plus the expenses of having a baby and in being in school, and that me being in med school is not something to be proud of. She also seemed to stir this up whenever we spend money on groceries or things. I am just really tired explaining why I am focusing on my schooling to make a better income in the future, and depending on our parents because of our current situation. Sometimes I get really fed up and just want to move out back to my parents' house and focus on my goal. I never really felt any support from her since my plans on medical school. She always tells me that I should have just looked for a job while she is in law school whenever problems arise. Any advice on what my mentality should be? Does she have valid points? What can I do? Thanks. She also keeps threatening to leave me. Honestly, my response would be, then leave. Lost $80 on crypto, like $80? Your wife sounds just lovely. Tell her to shut the fuck up. I'm a med student. I'm 23, third year, and fuck do I know how time-consuming it is. I do make a little money, but I have 0 RL friends and only have gym, work and my studies. You literally have a kid and she's blaming you for not making money? Ask yourself if you really want to stay married to a woman who'll make your life harder and is actively dragging you down. Well, no, she doesn't have valid points, because her job should be to support you in your hardships, not to make you feel ashamed of your reality, which is a perfectly normal reality. You're actually doing very well, and you seem to have a good plan for your life. Her claims look very unreasonable, and the threat to leave you is definitely immature. It's out of any boundary your relationship should have. But you have a child. So just leaving her can be problematic. You should get support from your parents and see what are the laws in your country, state about divorce or separation involving children. You cannot stay in this situation, and it's her fault. You would be doing great if it wasn't for her irrational expectations. How long did you guys date before you got married, have your kid? To me it seems like you guys might have gotten together too quickly due to the child and you were never compatible in the first place. My personal opinions here: investing in crypto is gambling. You gambled and lost. Sure, that might have been disappointing, but it doesn't make you a failure. B. Same shit. You don't have to feel bad for not wanting to play a gambling video game, especially when you're a student. C. Are you supporting yourself or adding to home finances with savings or other income? Or are you being taken care of by her and her family entirely? I would want you to get some kind of job or income too if I were also a student and we had a child. Does she work? Let her leave and divorce you. Or better yet, you divorce her and she gets child support based on your income as an unemployed student. Which is essentially zero. Then finish your schooling and make a killer income, which would be the best revenge ever. Do you honestly want to be with this toxic person for years only to start making a good income, then she files divorce? And then takes most of your high income? Your partner should empower you and encourage you, not knock you down. I hope you find yourself doing better in the future because your story sounds awful to go through. Wishing you the best and be strong. Brother, you're not a disappointment for focusing on your goals. She's not supportive at all, but the real issue is your child. Who's the supporting income? She might be struggling if she's working to make ends meet. Is she working? Where does the money come from to support you guys? Update. My wife is staying in a nearby hotel and won't answer calls or texts. Original post. My wife finally had a conversation with me this past Friday and admitted that she had applied for a job 4 hours away in June of this year, and that they called and offered it to her this week, and she accepted. The job is a temporary contract-type position in a creative field where she has no experience. They didn't do a sit-down interview or ask for a portfolio. Reviews of the company are spotty at best, and it seems that they're hiring someone green to run through the grinder and pay less than market average. The location is also in the busiest and fastest growing area in our state, and the rent for the house she's planning to lease is double that of our old mortgage. She claims a mom group of friends in the area helped her find it. She has hardly accepted any responsibility for the secrets and lying, and as others had suggested, it appears she used our altercation as the perfect opportunity to leave. I have plenty of blame in all of this, too, but making moves behind my back and hiding things for months is truly typical behavior for her in this situation. She came by to see our kids for an hour before leaving. She actually spent a few minutes with them. While I was putting them in the bath, she was getting decorations for her new place out of our storage shed. She insists on everything holy, that there is no one there she is going to, but that we've been fighting for a while, referencing every hiccup we've had in 12 years. There were never any attempts from her to improve the marriage or communicate about these supposedly unfixable problems. I'm going to a lawyer next week and I've cut off contact with her in the meantime. She's checked out. You can inform your lawyer that she's abandoned your family. You will have better chances of full custody. Good call. She's making decisions that impact the family without discussing them with you. Irrespective of a third party, there's not much left to salvage here. She is going to find a BF. She knows somebody there. Damn op. I really hate this for you, but she is most definitely cheating. Deep down you know this to be true. Divorce is not easy, but you'll get through it. You deserve so much better than what you're going through. Focus on your kiddos and yourself. And don't let her come crawling back when she realizes she messed up bad. Op. This sounds like a sex trafficking scam. There are loads of jobs like that where I am, and they're mostly porn related. You're right to be mad, of course, but if it is a sex trafficking scam, I'd be worried. Dude, get a lawyer before you get fucked. She has abandoned your home and your kids. Don't fool around. Cut your losses and accept that divorce is inevitable. You strongly have the upper hand now. Don't fuck that up or else you may truly ruin your life when you get stuck paying alimony to an unemployed and unstable train wreck. You and your family deserve better. Your wife has checked out and doesn't want to act like an adult anymore. She just doesn't even want to be a weekend parent. Don't make any excuses for her. Just see your attorney and end this mess. Sad for kids, man. She gone brew. Just take care of yourself first. Your kids need you, and one day you'll find love again. But right now move on. Brew. Man running medium skin tone. Man running medium skin tone. Man running medium skin tone. Man running medium skin tone.